For nearly a decade, we've watched the Saints as they rose from humble beginnings to becoming an unstoppable force of nature. But for the first time ever, I share with you their most important story yet. For this, my friends, is how the Saints saved Christmas.
There are certain traditions that many of us follow coming into the holiday period. Whether it's putting up the Christmas tree, letting Michael Bublé out of his cage to fill the airwaves with his carols, pulling that ugly sweater out of storage, well, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere at least, or putting on your favourite Christmas movie, such as Die Hard. Yes, I said it, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments or at me over on Twitter. Anyway, this got us thinking, if Christmas movies can be a tradition, why not Christmas games? Welcome back to GameGentleman. In this week's video, we look at 10 games to get you in the holiday spirit. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We also want to give a special mention to Parasite Eve and Twisted Metal, which both featured on our list of forgotten PlayStation franchises and are set in the holiday season. We covered them enough on that video, so they won't be making an appearance here. Number 10. Die Hard Trilogy. Seeing as we open this video with the statement that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then it only makes sense that we would put the Die Hard Trilogy in the same category. Not only is the original Die Hard set at Christmas time, its sequel Die Harder is set on Christmas Eve. Die Hard Trilogy, as the name suggests, covers the first 3 Die Hard movies, you know, when they were good, in 3 varying playstyles and was released on the original PlayStation, PC, and the Sega Saturn between 1996 and 1997. In Die Hard, players battle their way through Nakatomi Plaza in a third-person shooter, working their way up the floors of the building in each level. In Die Harder, players play through an on-rails shooter compatible with light gun peripherals, and finally, the third part of the trilogy, which is the only one not to be set in the holidays, is a driving game where players must race against the clock to defuse bombs around the city. As with the movies, Christmas is very much more a backdrop to the action rather than the focus itself, so we move on to some much more Christmassy titles. Number 9. Yakuza 5. The 5th mainline game in the Yakuza franchise, Yakuza 5 follows many of the hallmarks that make the series unique, including open world exploration, combat, side quests, and mini-games. Yakuza 5 also expanded on its predecessors with 5 unique locations and 5 playable characters. The title was the highest rated game in the series at time of release and is the only one to score a perfect 40 out of 40 from Famitsu. While many of the games in the series are set in December, Yakuza 5 goes a step further to really lean into the holiday season, including a side mission where one of the game's 5 main characters has to dress up as Santa Claus in order to save Christmas. The mission sees you search for a pack of Santa hunters who are beating up anyone dressed up as Santa. Along the way, you'll be mobbed by a group of children demanding presents just to really give you that genuine Christmas feel. Once you do find the assailants, you're able to dispense justice in a very merry fashion. Number 8. Hitman Holiday Hoarders DLC. 2016's Hitman was an episodic, mission-based reboot of the franchise, following Agent 47 as he fulfills assassination contracts around the world in increasingly inventive ways. Hitman sees Agent 47 travel to exotic locations in France, Italy, Morocco, Thailand, and Japan. But where the festivities begin is in the Holiday Hoarders DLC. Holiday Hoarders sees Agent 47 return to the Palais de Valesca at Christmas time to assassinate 2 thieves named Harry and Marv in an obvious nod to Home Alone's Wet Bandits. Agent 47 can take on optional missions such as stealing the very items Harry and Marv are targeting, or disguise himself by dressing up as the Jolly Fat Man. We must give a special mention to Hitman Blood Money, which also featured a Christmas-themed mission, You Better Watch Out, in which you're tasked with assassinating a porn tycoon and the son of a senator at a Christmas party in the Rocky Mountains. Number 7. Home Alone 1 and 2. The Home Alone tie-in games follow the plot of their movie counterparts very closely, although with differing approaches for each different platform. Home Alone games appeared on the NES, SNES, Game Boy, PC, Genesis, Mega Drive, and Game Gear. All of the games revolved around Kevin either defending his home against or evading the wet bandits, setting traps or saving the family's valuables, and encountering rats, bats, spiders, and even ghosts for some reason. A tie-in game for the second movie, Home Alone Lost in New York, also came out on the SNES, Game Boy, NES, Genesis, and PC, this time releasing a single game across all platforms as Kevin once again encounters the wet bandits through various New York locations such as the Plaza Hotel, Central Park, the streets of New York, and Kevin's uncle's townhouse. Number 6. Animal Crossing Winter Update. Animal Crossing is no stranger to seasonal content, and as a matter of fact, we covered its fall update during our Halloween themed video. Animal Crossing New Horizons Winter Update launched on November 19th and brings us 2 seasonal events, with Turkey Day having passed on November 26th and Toy Day occurring November 24th. The update brings seasonal changes such as replacing the colours of fall with a soft blanket of snow, new ingredients, recipes, reactions, holiday decorations, and presents to give to your fellow villagers. Animal Crossing New Horizons Winter Update will be sticking around after Toy Day until the next update coming in late January. Number 5. Dead Rising 4. Dead Rising 4 sees the return of original game protagonist Frank West and the original location of Willamette, Colorado, as Frank investigates an outbreak during Black Friday. The game's shopping mall and wider town are decked out in holiday decorations, and of course the game's famous weapons are equally festive. Players will face the hordes of Christmas shoppers, zombies, with all manner of weapons including candy cane crossbows and Christmas light-wrapped baseball bats. Dead Rising 4 didn't do much to shake up the formula of the series, with the notable exception of removing the game's countdown timer, which was a welcome change in our books. For some additional holiday cheer, don't forget to check out the Stocking Stuffer DLC, which also decks out the zombies in all manner of costumes including elves, gingerbread men, reindeer, and more. Number 4. Saints Row 4. It's kind of fitting that a gang called the Saints would be involved in a Christmas-themed game. Well, not really a full game, but Saints Row 4 did include a DLC mission pack as part of the season pass called How the Saints Saved Christmas. The expansion centers around the player and his lack of care about saving Santa from his simulation prison, and the gang must rally around him to remind him of the true meaning of Christmas. Players will encounter evil gingerbread men, dress in Christmas attire, and face off against the evil Santa Claus. The whole DLC is appropriately framed under the guise of a story by the fire, bringing the franchise's iconic self-awareness to the forefront. Number 3. The Division. Okay, so playing a game about a pandemic which locks down New York City probably isn't going to get anyone in the holiday spirit this year. So perhaps note this one down for Christmases to come. The Division is set in New York City under a heavy quarantine after the outbreak of the dollar flu, named after its spread on US bills during Black Friday sales. You play as a member of the Division, an elite squad of sleeper agents activated to respond to national emergencies. Players must fight the various gangs of a snow-covered New York, restoring key services and reclaiming the city in a live service game model which sees you take on daily missions, running raids, earning loot, and gaining XP. Players who wish to risk it all can also take on the PvPvE Dark Zone, where the best and rarest loot can be earned, but only by defeating the toughest enemies, rival players, and the threat of being betrayed by your own squad. Number 2. Arkham Origins. How do you make sure the residents of Gotham City stay off the streets in your Batman game without sealing off a section of the city for a Supermax prison? You set it on Christmas Eve. Developed by WB Montreal, Arkham Origins is widely considered the black sheep of the modern Batman games and is not officially considered to be part of Rocksteady's Arkham Trilogy. However, in retrospect, many gamers are recognising the fact that Origins was a quality title worth revisiting. Set 5 years before the events of Arkham Asylum, and only a few years into Batman's crime-fighting career, the Black Mask has put a price on his head, and he must battle some of Gotham's deadliest assassins in order to survive. Arkham Origins introduced a few new mechanics and gadgets, including the shock gloves allowing Batman to deliver electrified attacks, and a crime scene recreation mechanic leaning in on the Dark Knight's reputation as the world's greatest detective. Arkham Origins isn't the only Batman title set at Christmas. That honour is shared with 1992's Batman Returns, a video game adaptation of the Tim Burton sequel. We also can't forget the holiday-themed Easter eggs shared by Calendar Man in Arkham City. Number 1. SpiderMan Miles Morales. And finally, we come to the game which gave the inspiration for this list. The PS5 launch title, also available on PS4, Spider-Man Miles Morales sees the young protagonist rise to become the superhero he was destined to be. It also gives us another snow-capped New York with streets lined in beautifully detailed Christmas decorations. We see the melting pot that is New York celebrate the holidays with all of its cultural influences, none more so than in Miles' new home of Harlem. We also get to enjoy quiet moments such as the Christmas family dinner with Miles, his mother Rio, and friends Finn and Genki. Miles Morales offers up much of the same gameplay, side quests, and activities as the 2018 original, modified to match Miles' unique skills and powers. The story is tighter and more focused than its predecessor, but that does not mean that the game is a glorified DLC. Miles Morales is much more upbeat and hopeful than our second and third entries on this list, and given its shorter game time, it will surely form part of our Christmas traditions for years to come. So that's our list of games to get you in the holiday spirit. Are there any games out there that you put on as a holiday tradition, Christmas themed or not? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. This has been GameGentleman, and thanks for watching.